AgriEID digital farm system. So here you can see we've got the dashboard, we've got the widgets here. So I can see the average weight of my stock, the number of animals, the total weight, and the current stock value. I can enter all these details and components in the settings menu up here. I can also create the groups that I've got listed here. You can create the group default, or you can create individual new groups. Basically, you just go into the gear icon here. You can also change that from kilograms to pounds, anything that you need. Here you've got a manage widget button. So you've got all these different widgets that you can add to your dashboard. So here I've got group by weight. So I can see the number of animals that I've got in each particular weight category. I've got the medical batch history, when the animals were last treated, the number of animals. And if I click on that, that'll take me through to the number of animals that were actually treated, on what date, etc. This will go to the, if I click on that, it'll tell me the medical batch, exactly what was given to the animals. So here I've got ivermectin, Ultravac, 7-in-1, Flucazole, Multimin. Very simple to create these medical batches and do bulk assignments. So here I've got a clear view of what I've done. I can check how far back I want to go. Here I can look at the number of animals I've got in each particular weight category, the upcoming events that I've created in my planner, things that I need to prepare for. Here I've got the monthly activity. So these are the things that I've done over the period of time, and I can click through to check those animals. The latest to-do list. Again, these are things that I need to prepare for. Here is the revenue. So I've got the revenue of what was actually created, a summary of the sales, etc., what the price was, and all of those details in there. So here I can click through to those animals, and I can also look at the revenue created. So that's a summary of my dashboard. It gives me a nice snapshot. Here I can also see the list of animals that are currently on the property as well too, with all the specific details as well too. And I can click through to that animal, have a look. Gives me all the details, current record, weight history, average daily gain, medical history, all of that stuff. So here I've got the Farm AI tool. So here I can look at all of the tasks that I've asked the Farm AI assistant to create. So I've got my biosecurity plan, all my profitability tasks, my cost reduction plan, efficiency program, and I can type in at any time a new question for the chat, the AI chatbot and Farm Assistant to give me any response to any questions I've got. And here I've got my Livestock module. So here it just tells me all the details about the animals. Here I've got 62 records here. I've got advanced search features. So here I can search on the EID tag, the visual tag, the group. I've got a marker that I can add to each of the animals. I've got the weight. I can do a weight. So I can search on medical batches that I've done previously. I can exclude and include medical batches. So if I want to look at calves that I've given one vaccine dose, but I haven't given a second vaccine dose, I can bring up all those records, date of purchase, all of those sort of items that you need to search for on my advanced search. So if I go into Livestock, it's very simple to add a record up here. So I can just scan it with the smart scanner, and it'll automatically put the 13-digit number there, add the visual tag, select the group that I'm going to add it to, visual tag 2. So if I've got 2 tags there, so that might be the outside print of the electronic tag, the weight, the breed. I've got the ability to add the breeds there as well too. I can add new breeds up here in the gearing sector, date of purchase, etc. Very easy for me to create a new tag. So as I'm working on the animals, as I scan in, so basically I just put that the icon on the search button, and when I scan a tag, it'll bring up the 13-digit number, or I can type in the visual tag. So if I want to add an activity, so I can add a master. So here I can select a medical batch that I've created previously, add a condition, the dosage, genetic health, the age, weight. I've got the 3 main criteria there, teeth, feet condition, any notes that I want to write on there as well too. Selecting that. Very simple. So I can just simply add a medical batch. So I can add a product. I can create my own medical batch there. So here I can select, got a bunch of different products here, basically from my supplies, expiry date, purchase price, supplier, where I got it from, withholding period. I can add that in and create that medical batch. I can mark the animal as sold. And again, if I go into add the activity, I can add work, replace a tag. So if you've lost a tag, you can replace the tag, current tag, the new tag. Add activity, add marker. So if I want to put this as like a red marker, I can add this activity and this will highlight that particular record. Again, I can just do an add weight. Very simple to add the weight. And this all works on your iPad as well too, so it makes it very simple to do. So add work, this is the most basic one. So here I just select the medical batch. I can add the weight, enter any notes. That is the most popular form that we have, okay? And then if we go into livestock, so one of the other things, if you don't want to do it on an individual basis, say you just sprayed the animals with barricade for tick resistance. So all you would need to do is select your particular group that you wanted to do. So you might say it's just the breeders. So I'd select the breeders and the bull. Okay, so I've got 31 records. So, select all of the records here, and I would just click assign medical batch. Select the medical batch, barricade, activity date, boom. Assign medical batch, done. So anything that I need to do, any medical batch that I've created, I can do a bulk add at any time. So it's very simple for me to do that on a bulk basis. So livestock becomes very easy to manage, very cost effective to manage. So we run into paddocks. So here we've got the ability to add a paddock. So paddock name, size, etc. You can see all of the paddocks here. So I've got 13 paddocks, 180 acres. I can edit them, change them as I need to, add an activity. So I've got a number of different activities that I can just select the activity, the date, any notes. Okay. Add stock rotation. So if I'm moving stock from one paddock to another, I can add a stock rotation. So I can select the paddock. So I'd say it's going into Basil. Just select the start date, select the group. So it'll be this one, the bulls, etc. Submit. And that'll give me a countdown on how long that they've been in the paddock. I can see my full history on my stock rotation there. Looking at the current paddock, all of those details and the history. And that's my activity history as well too. So I can see the weed spraying, mowing, etc. So when you go into add activity, for example, if you look at, say I wanted to do some spraying, type, weed spraying, it brings up a new template. So here I can look at the wind speed, direction, the chemical batch. So I've created a chemical batch with a particular type. Select the application, boom or spot, weeds targeted, withholding period, quantity, volume, etc. and submit. So very easy to add herbicide spray. Very important to keep those records so that you know exactly what's happening with that and what you've actually sprayed on that particular area, so you can monitor the effectiveness of the herbicides on your property. Okay, to-do list, very simple. Add a to-do, title, description, the priority, etc. Very handy to have because that's on your widget on your dashboard, similar with the planner. So here I've got the planner, enables me to add an event, create a title, description, the date, and does it repeat, monthly, yearly, etc. You've got all the details there. Very easy to put in there on your planner. Supplies, so whenever you purchase a new product, so you've got the ability to search here, the product name and details. So I've got here different segments. So I've got medical supplies. These are all my medical supplies. So you can see here when I click on one of these, it gives me all the details that I've entered as soon as I purchase the product. And that's all required for audit purposes, etc. So very easy to use. adding new products, so add supply. So you can select which cabinet you want to add it into, to your supply cabinet, your medical, your herbicide, etc. And when it goes into medical, when I create a medical batch, it'll give me access to all of these records that I put in the medical into the medical cabinet. Same with herbicide. So here I've got all the particular types, anything that I need to add as far as that's concerned. As far as livestock, going into that herbicide area, and the same with the medical. And then you've got like fertilizer, fencing supplies. You can add all of those different components. So that's your medical supplies. And again, when you add the supply, you've got the purchase price. So that keeps track and that goes into your expenses and your profit and loss calculation as well too. So your medical batch, so I'm going to be doing some work on the animals. So I've got access to all the medical batches that I've deployed on the animals and when it was created. So adding a medical batch, very simple. So I just say it's like A1, select the product. So this is all the products that I've actually created in my supplies cabinet. And I put them all in there. Select, create a batch number, purchase price, etc., supplier, withholding period. It's got all those details in there, and I can add products. So if I want to add another product, I can add as many products as I want. So if you see here, for this one, I did a number of things with these animals. So I gave them ivermectin porin. I gave them a 7-in-1 vaccination. I gave them flucazole as an oral drench, and I gave them a multi-min injection. So basically it's given me the expiry date of all these products, so I know that when that was delivered, the dosage, etc. So all I need to do when I'm delivering this product is I just need to select it at a drop down when I've got the animals. So if I've got the animals in the yard, I click on this animal, add an activity, and add work, medical batch, bang, it's already there. I just select that on a drop down. So this is on my iPad, enter the weight, any notes, boom, add activity, it's done, on to the next animal, okay? So here we've got the chemical batch, much the same as the medical batch. So add a chemical batch, got the ability to add the product, etc., graze on, blah, blah, blah. I've got that ability. So here I've got one that I've created, which in particular, oh, that one's not there. So it's very easy for me to add those chemical batches in there as well too. Rain gauge. So rain gauge, I've got the ability to add in any reading, add in a long-term reading. So you can get all the long-term data off the internet, plug in what your averages are over that period. And I can view my history here as well too. So these are all the recent readings, etc. So here I can see my long-term average. So I can see here I'm in March. So if I look at March, I got my long-term average is 227. 2022 is 439, and 2023 it's very low, or this one. And again, you can see this year, my rainfall is about 50% of what it was previously, and according to the long-term average. Very handy. Machine component. So I can add a machine. So this can be a purchase, a service, etc. The purchase price, the next service due, etc. Any notes. So you can do that. So here it's the purchase price of these particular products, etc. And any kind of service components you can put in there as well too. So you might say that I've got to service the tractor, and it would be number of hours and specifically what I've done. And then the next service, I can add that as well. And then I can create an event so that I need to know that I'm going to service it again in 12 months time. So I've got all the details that I can add in there for the service and the purchase of equipment. And this all transfers down into the profitability as well too. So market, I've got the ability to add in purchase prices, sale details as well too. So here, if I look at this one, okay, so here I can see I've added the invoice, I've done a number of sales, the gross price, how many animals, what the price was per kilo, the average head price, and input all those details straight into the system. Okay, so I've got those two there. I can edit them, I can print them, I can do all that sort of stuff. Bulk sales import, it's very simple. Follow the prompts here, enter the details, the price per head, the gross, etc. Add all that stuff in, save it down, and you're good. So that gives you a simple record of the sales history of the animals and what prices you're paying, and the total kilograms that you sold, the number of head, the average kilogram, and this can be in pounds as well too if you're in North America. So feed, I can add feed in here. So if I'm going to be purchasing feed, nutrition, adding nutrition to the animals, so I can select a particular type of feed, I can add the feed in there, the group, the notes, the quantity, etc. So adding the feed's very simple, particular type, detail supplier, purchase quantity, cost per unit, total cost summary, purchase date, any notes that I've got. Okay, so this adds straight into your profit and loss as well too. And finance, so I've got here total expenses. This is like on a 12-month basis. You can change, customize the range. So here I purchased some equipment, some supplies, custom costs. So if I break down the custom costs, I've got here loan activity, electricity. There are the two main components that I've got there. Cover that. And I can see that my net profit for the last 12 months, 10,000. Okay, so I'm running at about 20% margin. And I can do that on a quarterly basis, monthly, all of those details. So I know what my running cost is per month, even down to a granular weekly basis. So very easy to do that. I can look at the cost history, and this breaks down the cost over time, over that particular period. Okay, that's my custom costs. And then if I go into this main component, I can add a cost, detail the amount, does not repeat, weekly, annual. When should this expense apply? Monthly, start date, end date, ongoing, etc. So very easy way to put in your costs, and so it can be a one-off cost, all of that sort of stuff, and gives you a good snapshot of your farm. So you've got the full profitability, and that is a very quick overview of the systems. If you've got any questions, please give us a call or shoot us an email. We're happy to help at any time.